we're supposed to be having a test. So the test is out of 40. It's multiple choice. So what I did was I started at the beginning of the book and tried to take two questions per page. So I have 2 questions per page. Yeah, so I started at the beginning of the book. We're on page, what page is this? 4. So go to page 4. Yes, on page 4 it says learn this. It says past simple. So you're going to this. You should already know this, so it shouldn't be hard. So the past simple is regular verbs ends in ed. So you just need to know this part, this here. Yes. Oh, that's on page 4. I'm trying to figure out. I made it so big. Yeah, on page 4. So remember, if you have questions, you can also go to these pages to review. Yes? So it tells you. Oh. So this is also going to be on the test. So you need to do this. You need to practice how to spell the words. Yes? So remember, you add ed for a regular verb. If it ends in E already, you're not going to add another E. If it ends in Y, a consonant and Y, you're going to drop the Y and add IED. If it's a 1-syllable word like drop, you're going to double the consonant and then add ED. Yes? So you're going to check this part, click, and let's see, can I mark it? Yeah. So you're going to mark this part with the little asterisk, spelling. All right, so let's go back to page 4. Page 4 is nothing. So we're going to page 5. Let's see if I can do page 5. Yeah. And I lost my cursor again. Oh, there it is. So page 5. On page 5, we talked about, what did we talk about? D and A. So here, this is on page 5. This is what we're going to be. So that's on the test. So, no, is that page? Present continuous. Present simple and present continuous. Does anybody have a question about present simple, present continuous? So we did all these in class, yes? And if you don't know the answers, once again, you can go back to this page 126, and it gives you the reference. I think it gives you the reference. Oh. Okay. No. Yes. Okay, yeah. So it gives you the references. I hate this thing. I hate computers. Anyway, yeah, so here we go. So we have the contrast, present simple, present continuous, and it tells you what happens every day regularly. Present continuous, you use happening acts. Yeah, so this all is going to be on the test, present simple, present continuous. You should know the difference between the two. So now we're going back. So we're moving to page, the next page, turn the page. All right, so now we're on page 6. On page 6, you just need to know the vocabulary words. Adjectives describing feelings. Adjectives and describing feelings. Yes? Anybody have questions about the vocabulary definitions? Anxious, ashamed, bored, confused, cross, which means angry or mad at somebody, delighted, happy, disappointed. So all these vocabulary words you can look in the workbook. In the workbook, I really don't want to try to go to the workbook, but you can go to the workbook on page 6. And remember, we did most of you have done the exercises for the definitions, and it gives you the definition here, look, on page 6. So it gives you the definitions. Of course, I didn't write them down, but you should have, yes? So then next we talked about Page 7. So on page 7, we talked about articles. We talked about, oh, hold on. Okay. Articles, yes? So we talked about articles. We use A when we mention something for the first time. We use D when we mention it again. So these you need to know. Principalmente, mainly A. Yes, so A. These things, if you didn't answer them, but I think everyone did, you can find them on page 127. So the book is very good. It tells you everything. We talked about will and going to. I did say they weren't going to be on the test because I don't like it, but it's on the test. So will and going to. Did I put a check? Okay. Will and going to this one. Yes, just going to. So they're multiple choice questions. They'll say something like, blank when is based on what you see and hear, and then I'll put will, going to, and then something else, and then you're just going to pick what you think the answer is, which of course is going to, because you can see it right here. All right, so let's turn the page. So we're on page 8. Let's see. Page 8. We get 8. Yeah. All right. So now on page 8, we talked about ages. Basically, I'm just going to ask you about the stages of life. Yes? So stages of life. So let me go over the stages of life. So number 1 would be infant. So some of you are confused. So 1 is infant. 2 is toddler. Yes. 3 is young child. 4 is teens. 5 is 20s. 6 is middle-aged. 7 is adult. Wait, what? No, erase that. How do I erase it? Okay, hold on. After the 20s, you have, hold on, what did I do? After the 20s, you have adulthood. And then middle age. What did I do in English? 6. I say 6. 7. Okay. Teacher, what are you doing? Anyway, okay, wasting time. So 7, because you should have done this already. So 7, middle-aged. 8, elderly. 9, centenarian, because that means you're 100 years old. So that's just, yeah. So this, we talked about, I'm just going to ask you certain things that you do in your teens and your 20s. So that would be something about you. So you need to know something about first job, university, leave school, those types of things. Like how old are you when you leave, something like that. All right. So now that's it on that page. On this page, I just talked about, you just need to know how to conjugate this verb, immigrate. You just need to know how to conjugate it. Past, continuous, perfect. Yeah. So this word here, immigrate. Turn the page. We're turning the page. So the next page is about used to. So past tense. Where is my used to? Or that's not your class. So past tense, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember doing anything on this page. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't write anything on this page. So past tense, let's talk about the continuous, because some people are confused. Like when they ask you for the continuous, you know you're going to use o verb to be o verb com ing. The verb to be com ing, it's a continuous. If I say are, não, tá escrito, eu disse are, né? Não é are. Why not? Because are is present. So you're going to use the past. So the past of are is going to be were, né? So you're going to say were, my children were playing, right? Cards yesterday. Past perfect. You're going to use had, right? Not have. O participle. O participle, né? Eu tenho que lembrar. Like known and taken, those are past participles. Please don't invent a word. Past simple, everyone knows we did. You just add ed or use did or didn't. All right? So that's the past. So now we go to this page. We talked about vocabulary, so you just need to know this. I'm going to check it. Complimentary, accusing, and arrogant. Yes? All right. Accusing means acusar alguém. Arrogant is someone who thinks that they're better than other people, and they're good people. They're intelligent people, but they show that they know that they're intelligent. Complimentary is someone who talks nicely about you, gives you, compliments. Okay, we're turning the page. Wait, we're turning the page. Oh, I lost it again. Anyway, so you're going to turn the page because I cannot. On the next page, we talk about, this is my page I was looking for, used to. So basically on used to, it's more about spelling. So remember in used to, all right. Remember when we talked about used to. So used to, we have in the positive, used to, yes? So in the affirmative, we use USED to. In the negative and the question, não tem de, there's no D. So it's just you. So remember, on the test, I'm going to ask you something like, I'll say a question, I'll have it like this, right? Something is empty. So then you have to pick an answer that's going to be something like this, or something like this, or something like this. So you have to know if it's negative, não vai ter de. If it's affirmative, vai ter de. Yes, used to, like used to, but you don't really say the D like that. All right, so that's on that page. On the next page, we have phrasal verbs, and I use 2 phrasal verbs. So I took them from this here. So you just go practice, study this part here, yeah? You're going to study number exercise 2 on page 13. So just study the vocabulary so you'll know how to use the phrasal verbs. So remember, phrasal verbs are the ones that have more than one word in it. Signs up for, gets on with, catches up with. Yes, so you have various palavras, juntado para fazer significado, to make one meaning. Now, turning the page. So on this page, basically, you just need to know what freedom, privacy, interest, decisions, and opinions. You need to know what they are, right? So if you read, you just read it and study, right? Freedom, privacy, interest, decisions, and opinions. No. All right. So on the next page, we talked about nouns and adjective endings, the same word, but with a different ending to make it a different part of speech. So we had adolescence, which is a noun, yes? And then adolescent, which is an adjective. So you need to know which is a noun and which one is an adjective, yes? Which is a noun and which is an adjective. We're turning the page. So on this page, we talked about should and ought to. Remember we talked about should and ought to? And what you need to remember is that ought to comes together. You have to use the to para completar a palabra. Yeah, you ought to study for my test. You should study for my test. So, o significado é igual, means the same thing, mas tem que ser ought, não pode ser sem o to. All right. On the next page, we talked about polite requests. On page 17, at the bottom, we're going to check polite requests. I say fácil, nice. If you're a nice person, you should know these things. So we talked about, would it be possible for you to? Could you please? Would you mind if? Né? Would you mind the form ing? Would you mind going to the store for me? I wonder if you could go to the store for me. That's a nice way to say it. So we call it polite requests. Yes. Also on this page, I asked about a pen friend. What is a pen friend? So you're supposed to remember what a pen friend is. So a pen friend is just someone who you want to write to learn more about the language. Yes, it has to do with learning a different language. So you want to learn more about the language. So that's why you're sending messages to the person. So you practice your writing, you can practice your responding, you can learn more about the culture in the language that you're trying to learn. So that's what a pen friend is. So it's usually someone who you don't know, who you've met online just for the purpose of learning another language. All right, we're turning the page. So turning the page, no, we're not using this page, we're not using this page. So we're on the page with the vocabulary, it's page 20, on page 20. Yes, so on page 20, we're basically talking about the same thing on page 21. This do, play, or go, we just did an activity with that in the review, if you did the review. So do, play, or go is pretty easy. Right? You do, play, or go certain activities. And it gives you some hints. It says normally we use do, play, or go for individual sports and activities ending in ing. For example, boxing, boxing. What else ends in ing? Shopping. No, you don't do shopping. Boxing, skateboarding, those types of things. Rollerblading. So you're going to do. Okay. Anyway, so we're talking about, we normally use play for team sports, play basketball. We normally use go for sports and activities ending in ing. Go rollerblading, go skating, go cycling. All right, we're turning the page. No, we don't have anything about adverbs or frequency on the test. We're turning the page to past, present perfect, and past perfect. The been and gone is on the test. So I'm going to tell you again. Been é, você foste e voltaste. Been, você foste e voltaste. You went and you came back already. I say been. O gone é quando você foste e ainda está lá. So you went, but you're still there. Yes, I say gone. So been is you went and came back. Gone is you went and haven't come back yet. Yes? So, o went é só o passado. O went é passado normal. Quando você sabe the time, the day that you went somewhere. Yesterday, I went to the store. I have been to the store before. I can't use gone because I'm at home, né? And I'm still here. Yeah. So you can't use gone when you can't use it as an example like that in this, like I've gone downstairs. If I was talking to my son and he asked me, are you still upstairs? No, I've gone downstairs. You can say that because ainda tô lá embaixo, mas eu tava em cima. So it's something like that. Well, but in confusion. Anyway, so on the next page, I didn't put anything about the diet. I don't think. I didn't mark it. On page 24, we talked about, present perfect and past simple. So I just talked about the present perfect. No, we talked about the past perfect. So present perfect is gonna have people. So a lot of you got it wrong on the review because they asked you to use present perfect and people were putting the past simple. E tá errado. So if they ask you for present perfect, remember you have to use have. You're going to use have and not did. For past simple A, did. For past simple A, did. I don't know if you can see that. And the present perfect is have. Because you know, I can't find my cursor. You know, my computer's just. Anyway, all right. So now we're going to turn the page again. We're turning the page. So present perfect simple. It's the same. It's the same on this. It's just a review, right? So present perfect simple when you use it. And then they talked about present perfect continuous. So present perfect continuous. Você já era para encher. Vai usar o with have or has mais been e ing. Então, não pode usar are. Não vamos usar are. O are é continuous. So, no present perfect continuous, né? Então, no present continuous, vai usar o are. We're going to use are. E-I-N-G. Mas o present perfect continuous vai usar have or has been, E-U-I-N-G. For example, you have been working much this term. Vai ser negative, né? You haven't been working much this term. To make a question, have you been, estava no review, have you been working much this? No, I haven't. Essa vai ser a resposta. No, I did. No, no, I didn't. No. Vai usar a palavra in the question, in the answer to make a question, in the question to make the answer, né? So the question is, have you been working? No, I haven't. Yes, I have. All right. So we're turning the page. Pronto. Não estou a entender como a gente tem problema com isso, mas tinha muitos problemas com isso. People had a lot of problems with these words. So the intention of the review was just for you to acabar. You're going to finish the word that is in the sentence. You're going to finish the word that's in the sentence. What time is it? What time is it? Oh, okay. So you here, let me open the book. So for example, Laisa and Cheval, there's some other people who are very confused. They just didn't even try a famine. So you're going to open the book in this part here in the workbook, right? They gave you the word. Do you have to be a member of a club to play on their golf? Falta só golf K. We did it here together. So some people might not have done it. Golf course. So vai escrever course. Golf course. Vai escrever course aqui. The new world champion ran around the athletics. Pronto. Track. Né? Track é para a gente que corre. The main entrance. Actually, I think I gave people that, except for entrance wasn't a choice. So people wrote entrance, mas não era escolha. Então, não pode ser, it's not correct because it's not a choice. So you're going to say road. Né? Last Saturday, we played a few games at the bowling alley. Isso tudo nós fizemos na aula. We did it in the class. So you're supposed to use these compound words here, que nós fizemos junto, e alguns daqui para acabar o lá. Yes? Também, outro exercício era para, the other exercise was to combine these words together, né? So they divided the first word. They took this and they took this. They took this, they took this, they took this, the first word, and put it in A. And they put the second word in B. Together, you're going to put the words together para fazer palavras verdades, people, real words that are here in the book. Soundproof, solar heat, open air, né? Air conditioned, pelo menos uma. You should have at least gotten one right, but some people didn't understand the activity. Oh, you can try to do it again. I think it's still there. No, I took it down. All right, turn the page. So on the next page, we talked about adjectives. Adjectives. So here, we talked about addictive, exhausting, and healthy. Those are the ones that are going to be on the test. Addictive, exhausting, and healthy. So exhausting is probably the only one that you might not know. It's tired, very, 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 very tiring. Addictive is when you just can't stop doing something or eating something. Like I'm addicted to chocolate, like for real. All right, we're turning the page. On the next page, we have, I don't think I put anything. What did I put? Expressing preferences. I quite fancy. I think it would be, so expressing preferences. So you need to know the difference between expressing preferences and coming to an agreement. Yeah, you need to know the difference between, okay? These phrases and these phrases. The next one, when and where did it take place? So I talked about a blog and what happens in the first paragraph of a blog. So in the first paragraph of a blog, it tells you when and where whatever activity took place. That's it. That's the test. So the test again is multiple choice. If you have questions, you can send them to me, and then I'll try to answer them the next class. I think it's on Friday. Yes. Oh, sorry. Ciao.